Welcome back, everybody. We've just gotten home to Atlanta to see the family for holidays and sell off their house so we could permanently move. Currently looking for a coffee shop that I used to go to around here. Don't remember what it was called. Good old Google Maps. All right, we are a whopping 15 minutes away. Let's go on a ride, boys. This is the first time I've driven a car since I've gotten to Europe, pretty much. So it's been months. Weather is poopy everywhere. I actually just left Bucharest when it was about to start raining hard and snowing. I'm not used to being in a big ass truck anymore. If I'll be honest, the one thing I missed about America is just the wide open spaces, man. You can point into any direction and just drive for hours, miles upon miles of nobody bothering you. You could really disappear in America. That's one thing that I do miss, because I like to just pack up and go on a nice hike somewhere, walking and talking, or just driving around. The whole driving around thing isn't the same. I understand people like to go on little night rides, city rides, but the wide open spaces, they're hidden. In Europe, not so much. Well, let me get a car first before I make that comment. I'm sure I can go to multiple countries and probably get a pretty cool feeling, but the fact that you have to know so many languages just to feel comfortable driving around like that is, completely different. It's definitely a little warmer in Georgia than it is in Eastern Europe. We could say that for sure. Like I said, when I was leaving, it was starting to rain and snow everywhere. Super cold weather. Kind of bums me out because I wanted to go to the mountains and just check out the incredible snow and white winters again. And apparently it's very unusual for it to snow as much or as heavy as it did this early in November. They've been dealing with the same climate change that we have over here, where our real Christmas got pushed back. Everybody knows you used to have cold Novembers, Decembers, white Christmas. Now it got pushed back to like January, February, even March. I remember it snowing over here in Georgia randomly in March now, as late as March. And that's another reason why I left to Phoenix when I did, besides expanding the business, was I'm a desert rat, dude. I love the heat. I love blue skies. I'm actually going to be going to the desert to visit a bunch of friends, maybe do some content with Sophie, go hiking, and just enjoy the last bit of warmth, until we start traveling to more tropical places like the Philippines and all that stuff. But it remains to be seen when that happens. We got to get the family over from America. We're on a mission. We had goals that we set out months ago. If you guys were watching the channel back then on Legion of Men, you'll know that the primary goal was go to Dubai, get the tax situation set up, bring the family over, retire them. I confidently say we've hit 2 for 2. And trucking forward, man, honestly. We just got all the new camera gear. That's a whole new thing I have to learn yet again. I've never messed with mirrorless cameras as heavy as I'm about to, so learning the entire process over again. When I started the YouTube channel, I had to teach myself editing, and I mean from zero. How do you export a file in Final Cut? How do you drop a file in? How do you do basic edits? Like, it was a cliff in terms of difficulty in learning. Learn how to edit, learn how to do thumbnails, learned everything in time, man. If there's ever a lesson in life, is don't look at the task at hand in totality, just look at it in small little pieces, and this is how you should approach life. If I would have looked at starting a YouTube channel or a podcast or how to edit or all this in its totality, what it takes to produce one episode and get it sent out to everybody and all, you would lose your mind. You would want to quit right then and there. There are so many verticals that you have to learn. There's so much work that you have to put in, a lot of practice, a lot of stupid how-to videos, a lot of mistakes being made. And I think that's a valuable lesson in life, man. This is how I've really approached everything. I have the I think it's a negative aspect in everybody, but you want to be perfect, right? I would like to be perfect. Everything I do, I'd want to be perfect from the get-go. I don't want to make mistakes. I don't want to look stupid, but honestly, that mentality holds a lot of people back. It's a crippling state of mind to think that you can do something at a master level from the get-go, from the very start. You as a newbie, everything you've ever done in life that you love and enjoy now, you sucked at when you started. Like, you were a newbie at one point, then you became proficient, then you became confident, then you really enjoy your craft. It's the same thing with anything you approach in life. I'm just using YouTube as an example because that's the most recent one I have, but this camera equipment that I bought, same thing. I don't know shit. I don't even know how to navigate the menu. I have to literally sit down, watch probably some tutorial videos, read a bunch of stuff about the camera, and start over again from zero until I become so proficient I can hold that thing with my eyes closed and make it do exactly what I want it to do. But here we go, starting from zero. All we have is a vision and a plan, and you just have to execute step by step, baby steps, man. And this applies to everything, like weight loss. We have guys in the private community that are in the process of losing weight or gaining weight, and when you try to formulate something like a diet, or you have a dream body that you want to achieve, it may seem impossible when you look at yourself in the mirror and you're the furthest thing from that guy's picture that you're comparing yourself to. Or maybe you're using women as a motivation. That's how a lot of us started. I started in high school working out. Women was a motivating factor because I wanted the hot girl who was always into the guys that were jacked, or you just know that jacked guys got all the women. So naturally you pick it up and you use that little bit of motivation from women, from wanting to be healthier, from whatever it is that's driving you to be better, and you make these step by step. Every day you go to the gym, every day you make a little bit of progress. It's so slow and it's so minute that you hardly notice it over time, but then you'll wake up one day and you'll look at the mirror and like, wow, holy shit, man, I look good. I have a six-pack. I feel healthy. I'm eating clean. My energy's better. I'm sleeping a lot better. Right? Mood more stable. So many different changes that happen, but happen gradually. So approach life in the same manner, dude. If you have a dream, it's good to envision yourself at the end. That should be your motivation, the fire to get you started. If you want to imagine yourself having millions of dollars, helicopter pad at your house, mansion, chandeliers worth hundreds of thousands, fucking 7 supercars, whatever it is, whatever drives your soul, even if it's material possessions, it doesn't matter. You need a motivating factor here. If you could envision yourself, man, do like mental work. Truly place yourself in that life. Pretend. Dream, if you can, the best possible image of yourself and make it feel real. And when you make it feel real, it gives you that motivation, that energy to grind out when those days are slow, when nobody's asking shit about you, how you're doing, when progress doesn't seem like it's going forward. That's okay. If you could envision that every single time you want to quit or give up or shit gets hard or you're feeling demotivated, bring your brain back to that exact point and keep continuing on. And what helps fuel the fire is every little nugget of progress that you make day by day, week by week, month by month. You start to see the change in your body. Your stomach starts to get flatter, or your arms are getting bigger, etc. All these little things happen that add fuel to that fire as you continue. And then it becomes like a snowball. You can't stop it then. Then it becomes addicting. Now that's everything you do always, all the time, because you want it that bad and it's fueling you to do more. So we're almost at the coffee shop now. We're 6 minutes away. Vast spaces. I drove like 10 miles, 15 miles to get here. That's insane. 15 miles in Europe gets you halfway across the whole city. And passing by hundreds of cafes, hundreds of restaurants, hundreds of diners. Man, it's so different. I wish there was like a optimal way to build vast spaces but tight communities like Europe has. That would be the best. Because I noticed this dominant car culture in Dubai as well. they're very dependent on having an automobile to get around, which is very isolating, to be honest. You don't really realize it until you go to one of these major cities or any European city that's built to be walkable, and you don't notice how sociable it makes people, how healthy it makes people. There's a reason, man, they're not that fat in Europe on average. Well, I should say Eastern Europe, at least. I can't speak for Western Europe. But people walk everywhere all the time. And actually, there's no point to even get a car. And if you wanted to get around somewhere, a taxi is far superior. To call an Uber and only spend a couple of dollars to go from point A to B, absolutely worth it to just avoid the headache of traffic and parking your car somewhere. Totally, we get an Uber every single time if I needed a ride anywhere. You only need a car when you want to go out the city somewhere further away. If America could implement that style of building, it would be elite, I'm telling you. Because you have the vast open distances between cities, but then you have the cities themselves that are built to be walkable. Maybe the best of both worlds, but you know, car lobbies. You gotta get paid, baby. It's America. So what's on the docket for today? Go to gym, go to the dealer, see how much they'll give me for my truck, sell it back to them. Pack the rest of the little things I have left. Shoot some episodes. Try to eat clean. I'm curious how my body's going to react to the food being back here. So this just popped into my head. Guys were asking me about them also moving overseas or traveling and where they should go and if I recommend Eastern Europe. Surprisingly, I don't actually recommend you guys go to Eastern Europe. I had Austin Hallman visit with his buddy. I've talked to other guys that have been well-traveled. If you have money, Eastern Europe is your playground, and it has probably the most beautiful, and maybe it's biased, but I say the most beautiful women in the world are in Eastern Europe. I think when you travel overseas all over the place, like in Dubai, by the way, when you travel to international mega cities that are very multicultural, it tends to be that the Eastern European women are the hottest there. Like all the hottest women in Dubai are probably Eastern European. Overwhelming majority Russian because of what's going on, but Ukrainian, Eastern Europe in general. Most of them. You get hot women from everywhere, but I'm telling you, the high percentage, when you see all the chicks on the yachts with all the millionaires, when you see all the baddest girls in the clubs, a vast majority of the time, they're Eastern European. So why not go to the breeding ground in Eastern Europe? Well, prices. See, if this was 1990s, if it was fresh out of like the Iron Curtain falling, and the prices were still, and the economy still closed off like it was in the 90s when it barely opened up, and you know, poverty or the quality of life and just living in general was so vastly different. Like 1990s Eastern Europe versus the rest of the world was crazy. You could come as an American and literally change your life by living there, get rich, or change someone's life because your salary was multitudes higher. Nowadays, when you go to a city like Bucharest, you're going to struggle, man. For the guys that are on their pensions and already retired and looking for a place to stretch their dollar, Eastern Europe is not it. It's far too developed. Your competition's going to blow you away because the men are also earning money, so you can't really use that a peg to stand on like you have a high salary. You have to go to Southeast Asia or some Latin American countries. And that's what all the guys have been telling me as well. You are wasting your time coming to Eastern Europe. Even if these are the kinds of women you like these are your types, it's a waste of time. $2,000 in your living, but you're not living well enough. You're not doing well enough to attract the quality of women you'd like to attract. Now, if you go to Southeast Asia, like you go to Thailand or the Philippines or somewhere, and it's multitude cheaper than Eastern Europe. You can eat in Thailand for a couple bucks. You can have a crazy ass looking place for $500 or less. And you could be by the beach. It could be a tropical island. The weather is crazy. The people, very nice. Everything, no crazy European cold winters. No, there's nothing wrong about Thailand and the Philippines. And with $2,000 a month, you're living like a king, man. It's so cheap there that you can seriously not survive, live. You get to go everywhere, do everything, eat out a bunch of times. You never have to cook for yourself again. You could enjoy having multiple girlfriends if you wanted to. You could afford them all, seriously, on like $2,000. And everything's taken care of, bro. Money is not an issue when you go over to places like that. You come to Eastern Europe, and that dollar does not go as far as it used to. It's modernized too much. It's within vicinity of other major cities from other major countries. Cost of living has increased, and Eastern Europe has caught up to the West quite rapidly. It's still behind, but man, you're not going to have a good time. Okay, side note, went and got a coffee. Excuse me. Couldn't wait anymore. Camera overheated too, so why not? So I was holding it upside down. First thing, I forgot, seriously. Portion control. It does not exist in America. I can't believe it. Even just being on like 6 months in Europe. Dude, a large in Europe is this big. At most. What the fuck? All right. Now I got it. So why I fucked up? Because I usually like to get 3 coffees, obviously. I'm used to them being small. And now I completely overdid it like a maniac. I don't know how I drank this much or ate this much. Well, you don't actually realize until you leave, man. And you see portion control is so different in every part of the world except America, honestly. I mean, coffee's not bad, but it's not what you get in Eastern Europe, my friend. Regardless. Holy crap. When she pulled out the tray with the 3 coffees, I looked at it like, what the fuck did I just do? Damn. Okay, no more caffeine for the rest of the day. Let's get to work here. Find out how much this damn car is worth. What are we talking about? Oh yeah, cost of living in Europe. Yes. It has modernized too much, and you won't get much with your dollar. And the women, I don't want to say gold digging, but they're very traditional and mentality that the man takes care of the woman and she takes care of the man. Well, that costs money, and unfortunately Eastern Europe has become expensive. So women have a, how can you say, higher expectation of what your salary should be. Long gone are the days where you can come here and bum it with $2,000 a month or whatever it is and it be accepted. Most people in the city, by the way, the average cost, so just so you could understand what I'm saying, the average cost or salary, in Bucharest is like $50-something thousand. The capital cities in Eastern Europe are expensive. At least Bucharest is. So I can't speak on the regional towns, the salaries, they get cut in half, I believe. So you could go to a regional city and obviously make up for the lack of the dollar, but there's this thing where you lose too much not quality of life, you lose too many amenities, man. Like I would not want to live in the countryside of Eastern Europe. There are hardly any infrastructure and amenities there. What's weird about Asia is you could live in these premier cities and it be that cheap. Or a city nearby, and their infrastructure is actually amazing. They're far better than Eastern Europe. So that's why I recommend the guys head over to Asia instead. You'll just have a much better time. These giant ass parking lots. Dude, another thing that you will not find in Eastern Europe. Parking lots. Huge swaths of parking lots. Such a weird sight. Look at all this open space, dude. It just seems like a waste. Like, building this is so inefficient. Like, there could be a million stores here, an apartment complex. This could be a whole, like, walkable area where you could go shop, live in, do stuff. A little park. No, it's just asphalt paved with a few cars in there. All right, we got our location. We're 30 minutes out. 24 miles. Yeah, goddamn. What are some of the differences I've noticed between Eastern European women and American women? That was another question. Besides, obviously, they're gorgeous and they take pride in their looks and absolutely keep themselves looking A1 all the time. The real difference is it boils down what they're willing to offer in return for their demands, because they're high as well. They know they're highly sought after. They know they're beautiful. There's a ton of men that are willing to spend a ton of money on these women. And given the traditional nature in Eastern Europe, you're expected to do your job as a man. You're expected to take care of the family. You're expected to be competent. You're expected to earn money. And there's no in between there. There's no I get to sit at home, play video games. There's no watching this anime. There's none of that. And I hate, bear bad news, boys, but anything that could be seen as boyish, as not what grown men do, it will be looked down upon by Eastern European women. In return, and the biggest difference here between Western and Eastern European women or American is that they don't think they're the table. They don't think that you treat them like princesses for nothing. No. They're taught how to be a wife. They're taught to cook. They're taught to clean. They're taught to support their husband. They know that everything they do to support their husband in turn supports them and the kids. They will be at home doing all those feminine things, turning your house into a home. They will be doing all that stuff. She will look after you. They're very close with their family. And that's some of the things that I've noticed right off the bat. The biggest difference is the fact that a girl will go out on a date with you, thank you for the date, text you after the date that she had an incredible time, thank you for your time, is very humble, rarely late if ever, will always text you, sorry I'm running behind, sorry there's traffic, will send you like proof, hey there's a car accident ahead, hey here's a picture. They don't bother doing that in America, hardly ever. Then they come to the date and they're very, very keen on what you're saying, what you're doing, what your plans are for the future. They're very interested in you. They don't give a shit about the actual venue that you go to. The only thing that matters is the man in front of them. If they give the man a chance, they're interested in the man. They don't care if you go on a walk or a picnic. There's no, you have to take me here. It has to be a 5-star restaurant. I need to get my pictures for Instagram. None of that stupid shit doesn't exist. If they're not interested in the man, they're not interested in going out with you, period. This whole getting a freebie out of you and turning you into a foodie call, that doesn't exist. Only with like trash gold diggers, which exists everywhere in every country, there's your degenerates. But in general, if a woman in Eastern Europe says yes to going out on a date with you, and by the way, it's not easy to get them to go out on a date, they'll question you. They'll try to get to know you over text a little bit. They feel a little weird. You'll regularly get messages if you try to do logistics only. You'll get messages like, but we don't know each other yet. We need to talk a little more. I can't be going out with a complete stranger. What if we don't get along? What if we waste our time? Like, that's a valid reason that they'll give all the time. So if you try to do logistics only, you're going to strike out with a lot of the women. But once they go out on a date with you and they're interested genuinely, it doesn't matter if it's a cafe spot. It doesn't matter if it's a rinky-dink restaurant. It's irrelevant. All that matters is the conversations you're going to have, and if your values align, and you're good to go then. And that's really it. And once you go on a few dates and everything's great, and she comes over and she'll cook for you, she'll clean your place up without asking. It's a strange feeling, man, if you've never had it before, to wake up as a man and there's food being cooked in your own kitchen, or a woman dropping you off food because she was in the area. They're so thoughtful. It's so different, man, that once you manage to convince her that you're worthy as a man, She will then make an insane effort to keep you, to show you why she should be a girlfriend, why she should be a wife. There's no gatekeeping wife duties. And that doesn't even make sense, but that's the idea that we go with in the West. Like, I won't be a wife until he puts a ring on it. No, in the East, it's, I'm going to show him what it's like to be with me so that he wants to put a ring on it. I'm going to show him what a wife I am so that he has no other choice but to marry me. Because there is a time clock with Eastern European women. They want to know, like, is your mind towards marriage? Do you want to get married? Do you want to have kids? If not, we're not compatible and I'm going to have to go next. And you can't string them along that much either, like you can Western women who essentially have been taught, indoctrinated that it's okay to be friends with benefits for a guy indefinitely. And maybe one day, he'll ask me to marry him. And then it turns out that guy doesn't. And voila, you're now past 30. And you're struggling. That, in Eastern Europe, that shit does not fly with the majority of women. So the effort she puts in is absolutely incredible, dude. Turns out to be like a culture shock for you as a man. If you take care of your body, you do everything right, you go on a date, you show the women your worth, and to have that reciprocated in the manner, in a feminine manner, no less. Oh, wow. Inspiring. That's all I could say. You ever woken up and had a home cooked meal with a woman you've been on a few dates with? Fresh coffee made, food sizzling in the pan, and you didn't ask for any of this? She just felt compelled to, because this is what women do. We take care of our men. It would be weird for me not to. Oh, and my clothes are folded up. Oh, and by the way, the hamper's ready to be, the dirty clothes hamper is ready to be washed if it hasn't started already. What the hell, bro? You got me effed up, dude. I was over there like, oh my God, am I about to get married? Oh, man. Guys, I'm telling you. And I've heard similar stories for the bros that are traveling all over, Latin America and Southeast Asia. It's true, man. You will not know until you travel. I'm telling you. So they offer a ton in return. It's truly a synergistic relationship, nothing adversarial. If anything, it might feel cold and adversarial. This is what they'll say when they come to Eastern Europe. The women here tend to be cold. It's not that they're cold. It's that they have a strong barrier up to filter out weaklings and fuckboys. The barrier is there for you to just prove yourself. Once you've proven yourself, it completely melts away and you get nothing but warmth, embrace, and feminine nature. That's it. That's all it is. That's the coldness. Because they are taught what to look for in a man. And if you bring the kind of fuckboy dating culture, hookup culture here, and you try to find yourself a traditional woman, you're going to get rejected hard. And you'll experience the said coldness. Now, don't get me wrong. If you want to have fun, you can go to all the local watering holes, which is the same for every country. You go to bars, you go to nightclubs, you go to these venues that are party spots. You'll find people like-minded that are wanting to party and not looking for anything long-term. And if that's what you want to do, let bygones be bygones. But you're not going to find yourself a woman worth putting a ring on. And if that's not your intention anyway, then you're good. It's fine. But for the guys traveling and looking for a woman long-term and wanting a relationship and something more, you already know to avoid those kinds of spots. And again, I have my dating apps turned on and I use them sporadically. And I landed here, because obviously the time difference is so huge. I can't sleep at night, so I'm up super early. So I turned on my dating apps and just to see the matches, and got a bunch of matches and all this stuff, because apparently you get a boost. From what I've noticed, anytime you travel to new places, like Tinder shows you to everybody, Bumble shows you to everybody, you get a boost in matches. And if you don't move around too often, if you don't travel, it seems like your account stagnates. This is just what I've noticed personally. So whenever I'm approaching airports and starting to fly and going into different countries, like my matches are exploding. So what I've noticed is the quality and looks here. The average woman, bro, I honestly would not put in any effort into dating after what I've seen traveling around. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't think I would bother on any single date whatsoever. If anything, I had to cut some dude off. Sorry, bro. Missing exits here talking. I don't know how to say this in a nice way, but even the quote hot ones here, those profiles that are top picks and supposed to be the highest rated members is like average, below average in Europe. I'm not joking, man. Even Dubai, obviously Dubai is just a rich person's paradise, so it does attract the best women in the world, looks wise. We're not talking personality or values, but purely off attraction. Dude, the difference is insane. And it's only until you travel just to see. And I'm sure you can buy the premium version and, you know, do that little plane feature where you can put your location to another country before you get there, just so you can see the options. Your head will explode. Knowing now what I know, I would not be involved in any dating culture, would not take any women out. It's absolutely not worth it. And I could only imagine that to pull the one chick that does look like, you know, on the level of beauty of these other women that are tall, that are slender, that are super feminine looking, no woke mentality virus, none of that crazy shit in their profiles, how they identify and all that stuff. She's probably highly sought after so much here. The competition is so stiff for her that good luck, dude. And she's already bitten into the strong empowerment mentality and all that other shit going around today that she's probably going to be super stuck up and expecting the world of you without giving anything in return. I mean, the likelihood that, let's be honest, a woman in America knows how to cook and clean like her grandma did is very, very minute, man. I'm telling you. I mean, I'm like fucking talking Chinese to you guys, saying like, hey, dude, by the way, when you meet a woman and you bring her back to your place, you could probably wake up with a cooked meal, or her making you coffee, or her cleaning up your spot. To say some shit like that about a woman here in the West, please, dude. Speaking to Chinese. Anyways, beauty is an eye of the beholder too, so there's this little nuance that you probably should know. If you do come to Eastern Europe and your pockets are light, and you're an older dude, and you don't keep up in the best shape, will you land a woman? Yeah, but will she be quality? Like, you know, stereotypical beautiful Eastern European woman that you see? No. You're getting leftovers, bro. And they might not be that much better. But I mean, personality-wise, values-wise, sure, yeah, you might have a huge step up, but don't expect to come here and slay primo-type women and you didn't take care of yourself. Competition of that nature is going to be stiff. You might be able to get away with it in other places that are a lot poorer, a lot less developed because the power of the dollar. It's like putting maximum points in your wallet. So you can get away with being a fat, bald, short, ugly, don't got much going for you kind of dude, besides just a fat salary in comparison to those underdeveloped places you go to. Sure, that's what's happening essentially, but that doesn't happen in Eastern Europe. Nobody needs your money. So your money, you can't lead with it that much in Eastern Europe unless you're into gold diggers, which is fine, bro. You can nail it, the Barbie looking chick, but just know she's there until the money dries up. But if you're looking for a genuine woman, your money's not going to go that far in Eastern Europe in terms of like, I absolutely need to snag this guy, or his salary is 20 times higher than everybody else's, like multitudes over, simply because you have a Western. No, your Western salary is not that impressive in a place like Romania. But in other places that some of these guys are going to, in Africa, South America, Southeast Asia, sure, yeah, you have that purchasing power difference that's so extreme that you could be average, below average dude and have quite a bit of success. And that's just the raw truth, man, because yeah, money is the great equalizer for a man. So if you take an honest look in the mirror and go, yeah, I haven't been taking care of my body, my skin's messed up, I got stank feet, I don't wash much, I'm not eating clean, breath could use some work. I mean, you're struggle city, bro. And if that's you, you have a slightly higher chance in those other places where the power of the dollar is more extreme. My advice, before you even travel, is get your ass on a diet, get your mind right, get your body right, and get your spirit right. You're doing yourself a massive injustice, first of all, by not even taking care of those three things, as you should be anyways, is your duty as a man to master those three aspects of your life. But secondly, when you finally scrounge up the pennies to go travel and to go enjoy yourself and to have the best experience possible, because you haven't taken care of those three things, you will have a subpar experience wherever you go. You will have a handicap wherever you go. You will struggle no matter what, and you will have to lead with things like your wallet more and more. You have to depend on externalities like a salary and not who you are, your character as a man, and the value you bring as a man. So get your shit together before you travel overseas. What a shame it would be to spend thousands of dollars to go overseas traveling, and you're one of these dudes that looks like a fucking gargoyle because you refuse to self-improve, and then you'd go and complain that all women are the same everywhere. At a certain point, you got to look in the mirror and understand that you're not attracting women. If you're not attracting women all over the world when you travel in these exotic places, if you're struggling there still, you're the problem, bro. You are the problem now. I understand it. You could be in a high competitive area. I could understand that, you know, in some capital cities here in the West, some premier cities, like, standards are just far beyond you. I get it. Yeah, they're delusional to a certain extent. Sure. Definitely a lot of places, especially college towns, like, yeah, good luck, bro. With the advent of social media and the internet and all the connectivity, like, women have options and you're out-competed. True. So I could understand your struggle here. But a passport isn't going to be a magic bullet for you if you truly don't take care of yourself as a man. You will have an easier time, but that's relative. Easy is a relative term. Easy compared to the shit time you're having in the States currently, sure, yeah, you will have an easier time. Easy relative to what you could have had if you took care of yourself? Absolutely not. We're now approaching the dealer. I think we're going to call it for today because we're talking too goddamn much. Looks like I've been recording for a good minute now. I'm just going to put this one up as a test. Let me know what you guys think about these kinds of episodes. I'm going to be vlogging a lot more day to day. Pointers too. Do you like to see them more raw and uncut with the least amount of cuts possible, or do you want to see a ton of B-roll? B-roll is essentially like, imagine I'm talking to you right now, but then I'll show videos of stuff I've recorded throughout the day. You know, do you need that for extra attention? Do you prefer that? I'm going to go and record some stuff in the dealer while I'm sitting there waiting, workouts at the gym, etc. Or do you like the whole first person, me, you talking, as raw as and unfiltered as possible? Yeah. Pointers, boys, give them to me because I want to invite you guys more into my life. I want to show you guys what I do day to day, kind of give you a blueprint and hold myself accountable too. Because I understand, man, it's very difficult to stay motivated in this world. You know, life isn't easy. And a lot of us weren't born with the tool set needed. We either came from single parent homes or had tumultuous relationships with our fathers, or just a screwed up childhood in general. And you lack the proper tools to deal with stress, deal with negativity in your life and how to chase your goals and persevere through obstacles and yada, yada, yada. I get it, dude. And even if you had two parents, it doesn't mean your parents knew what the hell they were doing. They're just people too. So very few among us have been raised properly with proper mentalities on how to deal with life. And most of it is learned by mistakes, which I've made a fucking ton in my life. Honestly, this is why I even know what I know, is because I fucked up a lot of times. A lot of times, man. My life is filled with mistakes. The only difference is I learned not to repeat them. And I try to learn from other men making mistakes, which is the smartest thing you can do. So my goal is to be vlogging every day and give you guys this framework of how you should eat, how you should work out, hold each other accountable. The most exciting part of this for me is with the private community is like this Garmin watch that I have on my hand right here. It has a little community function where it automatically tracks all your workouts, how you're sleeping, calories burned, all that stuff. And it posts it to a group. Think of like a video game leaderboard. Think of your Call of Duty leaderboard. We'll have a leaderboard for the group. And this could be done on the public server, which it will, but we have one for the private community too, which I'll be interested in because I want to get to daily calls with everybody, check in, make it like a real brotherhood, a real networking thing. So with these watches, and you can get them as cheap as like $80, $100, dude, to track all this stuff. And we'll have monthly challenges, weekly challenges, like most steps taken, most mileage put in a week, most cycling, most calories burned, there's so many things that we can do competitively, like you would when you played video games. I remember I wanted to be at the top of the leaderboard, at the top of the rankings, and seeing somebody pass me up, one of the guys, higher KD or whatever it was, made me want to do better, made me want to play more, made me want to engage more. So I want to create this little community here where we're super engaged and competitive with one another and naturally hold each other accountable, through tracking our progress. So part of what I want to do with the daily vlogs is vlog my day like this and, other episodes. But in general, here's the blueprint of what to do every day. Walk these many steps, go to the gym, eat this, and watch your body transform. Because that's really all it is. And what better way to do it than to show you? Because I'm sick of watching videos, 10 steps to a six-pack, 5 best foods you should eat. Here's how I diet. And it's like overly produced professional video that completely loses my attention. And when I have a question or I'm struggling or a variation is needed to be inserted, like, hey man, I work today. Hey, I'm traveling today. How do I eat clean while I'm traveling? I just flew 14, 15 hours. How are you going to the gym? Where are you going to the gym? What exercise are you doing without a gym? Okay, how are you eating? How are you eating out now? You don't have access to a kitchen maybe. You're in a hotel, Things like this happen on the daily for people. And hopefully by seeing me, it motivates you. Because we're all going to have weak moments. Including myself. Life is stressful. Shit happens. God forbid someone passes away. Lose a job. Get a fight with your girlfriend. Some crazy shit like that happens, bro. And it could derail all your progress. You can revert back to your baseline habits that you've had. Which were the coping mechanisms. Food, video games, porn, anime, whatever. I just named those because those are the ones that men indulge in the most. But drugs, whatever it is. Once stress hits you, and if you haven't built that strong habit, the positive habits, that foundation of yourself, you're going to revert back to all the things you used to do to make yourself feel better in the moment, which in turn makes you feel worse later. So hopefully, by you guys keeping me accountable with videos, by you guys being on my ass saying, hey, there's no proof, you didn't post it, it didn't happen. Hey, we didn't see you log your shit today, what's going on? By you guys holding me to an insane standard like that, I in turn can hold you guys to a standard as well. In the community, engaging together, but also putting up the videos. So you'll be waking up every day. That video's already uploaded. Get after it, bro. I know you're struggling. I know shit's hard. I know you're stressed. You got exams. Your fucking money isn't adding up. Your paycheck to paycheck. This and that and the other. We all have a million excuses. At the end of the day, you have to fight through all that BS and you have to make it happen. So hopefully this can help a bunch of guys make it happen. And I'll be reading the comments under this video and every video that I post going forward on this channel with the daily vlogs, because interesting questions may come up that I would like to answer in the video. So if you have a question, let me know, because I will be answering it in the video. But I could already imagine it. A young guy or whatever, you know, everybody has a specific question to themselves that would be interesting to ask. Like, hey, we have one guy in the private community that doesn't have a job yet. He lives with his grandparents and he's struggling to control the intake of his food because obviously they're buying and they control what's being eaten around him. And he can't force his dietary change on them, of course. And then he'll have snacks and stuff lying around that they like to indulge in. And it made it really difficult for him to control his diet because, you know, that impulse of grabbing the chips off the counter and stuff like that. So he had a conversation with them. Simple of, can you just keep all the bad food away from me so I'm not tempted? And sure enough, he did. And through some other changes, and we're guiding him, and he's lost 30 pounds already from a simple change like keep the sweets away from me. Keep all the bad food away from me. But everybody's going to have very unique situations, man, that I'd love to answer and give input to. So I really do need to shut the fuck up. We've already been recording for 36 minutes plus all the talking from before. It's going to be a long ass vlog. Blabbermouth is done. Let me know what you guys think. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Share this video with somebody you think might find this interesting in the plans we have going forward, if they may be interested in partaking. I'll have the details to all that stuff soon. I just need to record it all and, you know, have a little script written down, because that'll be our official intro into the plans and everything that we're making. We'll see you on the next one.